365. Listen, this is going to be such a dope podcast today. We have the lovely Kayla Farrells here. I am your girl, Stina Dias, and I will be guiding you through this dope weekend. But before we get started, go ahead and check out these videos.
Pushing the gas and along with the pedal. We not the same, we on different levels. You say the same, but yo, I cannot settle. I'm bringing the bass and you bringing the treble. Pushing the gas and along with the pedal. We not the same, we on different levels. You say the same, but yo, I cannot settle. I'm bringing the bass and you bringing the treble. Put the money in the bag, I mean several. Try and take it in your hand, we'll get severed. Spraying my heat, you must think I'm the devil. And I'm in the rest, you know I'm ahead of him. Heroes, he must be a peddling, settling. No, I'm bringing the adrenaline. Better than niggas at the door and headling. Meddling, all up in their stomach, better than...
En camino encima yo soy la que cambia
Difícil de verdad sin atraso. Soy un alacrán, obra de arte que Picasso. Sinfonías de mis dientes se convierten en un palo. Pinto mis sentimientos, un universo y estoy creando. Sé que lo puedes ver, difícil comprender. Es mi forma de ser, realeza y poder. Se retiró R de reggaetón, llegó la reina.
Awesome. So hopefully you enjoyed those videos. We're going to jump straight into this interview with Kayla Farrells. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Awesome. Are you excited for everything that's to come? I know it's already gotten ready and everything, and we have the final performance tomorrow. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I've had a really good time. Classes have been going very well, and I'm excited to see the competition tomorrow and also put together a piece for the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, so if you don't know, Kayla is going to be not only an instructor, but she's also a judge. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of both of those aspects. You've already done your first day of training. How do you feel? What are you looking forward to? What's the vibes? What's going on?
Yeah, so my first class was really great. We did a jazz funk combination, and it was more so like competitive jazz and what I teach around this area. And it was really fun. The dancers did a great job. I was really impressed.
Yes.
And this morning I did a heels class.
Love it. Love it.
It was really fun. We
Love
turned
it.
off the lights and got spotlights, and we just lived our sassy life. And it was, it was so much fun. I think I had some beginners in there, and they would never danced before or even danced in heels, and we all had a good time. So
So yesterday, that was just the jazz funk combination. So as far as that process or even getting the choreography together, what did that look like? And then what made it more specific to the Fusic 365 event?
Yeah, so as a competitive dancer or even auditioning in the LA world, you do so many different things.
Yes.
Like you might do a technical moment for a commercial audition or a very like sassy heels for, a Beyonce audition or something.
Right.
So I wanted to bring that element to this just to show dancers to have a variety in their little toolbox. So
I love it. Absolutely. Variety is definitely key, especially coming around this world. Yeah. When it gets into, I guess what the weekend looks like, what are you looking for? Not just, just as an instructor, I just want to stick on the instructor part. What are you looking for in your students outside of, that confidence and, just the will to want to learn the choreography? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I think you can see when someone wants it.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though you kind of mentioned like you look for that confidence, but honestly, that's the thing that a lot of dancers lack.
Yeah.
Are just dancers who truly believe in themselves. So I love to see someone who can just come out and
kill it.
Be confident in whatever they're bringing to the table, whether they know the steps or not, but just be unapologetic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk a little bit about your career.
Yes.
We were talking in the pre-show about it, but homecoming Beyonce.
Yeah.
What did that look like? Guys, Kayla was one of the dancers for Beyonce's homecoming. And as everybody knows, Beyonce is, Queen Bee.
Queen Bee.
You know, everything is to perfection. So to be chosen as one of those dancers, that says a lot about not only you, but your ability, your career. How do you feel like going into that? Talk us through that process. What did it look like for you?
It was a process.
Yes.
Now I'm going to break it down. It's a long story, so if I lose you,
I
call me
got
back
you.
in. Okay. But one of the first jobs I did out in LA was a music video with Clarkson.
Okay.
And Jaquel Knight, who is Beyonce's choreographer,
Yes, Jaquel.
was
Shout out to you. Shout out
incredible,
to Jaquel.
incredible choreographer
Yes.
and a good human too.
Yeah, is.
So he was the choreographer for that job, and after shooting that video, he came up to me and just said, you know, you were really professional. Thank you for like making that seamless, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
So I was like, yo, I'm in,
Yes,
right? I'm going to
yes.
dance for Beyonce one day. Well, it didn't happen
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
And I remember Jaquel having multiple auditions after that, and maybe I would make it to the last round, but I
Yeah.
would not book the
Never
job.
get through, right?
Yeah, so that happened for, I would say, maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And then this one came up. And at the time, we didn't know what it was for. We just knew it was a Beyonce
Yeah, and who cares?
situation.
It's
Right. I
Beyonce.
mean, we were all wanting to be there, but
Right,
we didn't know
right.
what was happening.
Absolutely.
So the first audition for that, I remember maybe 300 girls for my audition. And there were at least 5 auditions that day full
Right.
of 300 girls.
Right.
So
oh my God.
I went in, and my group went, and he said, thank you to all of us, meaning you're all cut.
Right, right.
And I just stood there. And I would not recommend that to any dancer ever, but I just stood there and I was like,
Nah, I
like
can't
you're
be.
gonna tell me why I'm not leaving this room. And he said, Kayla, come here. And I'm like, ooh. So I get nervous, and he's like, Kayla, do you do contemporary? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, well, I'm gonna let you come back, but when you come back, you need to be a grown woman.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I walk out the room, and I'm like Googling, how do I become a grown woman
Oh my
in
God, that
like
is
an
so
hour?
funny.
Like, I'm like, what do I do? Because I only had maybe an hour, 2 hours before I came back for the callback.
Right.
And I'm like, what do I do? So I watched Beyonce videos and watched the dancers. I changed my clothes and everything.
Put on a red
and
lip.
I did.
Did you
That's
really?
funny. I did.
Oh my
I pulled my
goodness.
hair back into like a high ponytail and threw on a red lip. And I
Yes.
changed into a leotard because Beyonce
Yeah.
always wears leotards. I don't know why I didn't do that at
Yeah.
first, but you know, I came back and then all was
Killed it.
well.
Killed
Yeah.
it.
But even for that, I made it to the end and didn't hear anything. And I
Yeah.
knew the job was going on. So I was like, bummer, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then they had another audition for it.
Yeah.
And then I went in. Again, there's like 500 girls this time. And I'm like, what is going on?
why does
Like,
the
why is
number
there
keep
another
doubling,
audition?
right?
And I'm like, I'm confused, but I'm here. And my group went, and no one got picked again. He was pulling out the people he wanted, put them over to the side, and then the leftovers. Oh, that's a bad way
That
to say
is-
that. But,
I mean,
it's
that's
true.
what it is.
It's true.
It's what it
the
is. It's the
leftovers were
business.
over here, and I was over there. And then he said, okay, all my people over here, let's do it one more time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I got to bust my butt in
Yeah,
this to
really
get
work
the
it.
job. And we all come out, and there's no room to dance.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I want to go full out.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock this person out if I go.
Yeah.
Like, I have no choice but to go to the back.
Yeah.
So I go to the back left corner, and I'm like, I hope he sees me. I
mean,
pray to
it's
God he
in you,
sees
not
me.
on you, so-
Right. But we started dancing, and he stood up in his chair,
Mm-hmm.
and he was looking around. I'm like, you haven't stood up in your chair for this whole audition.
Right,
Like,
he's trying
he
to
really
see
wanted
you.
to see. And after that, he said, okay, Kayla, go over here.
Yeah.
The only one he chose.
Really?
Yes. So I'm like shook at this point. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. But even after that, I didn't hear right away
Yeah.
that I got the job. And I remember getting emails from my agent, and they said, you know, okay, you're on hold, meaning keep these dates open.
Right.
They want to book you. But then I got released.
Yeah.
And then I got on hold again. And then I got released. So it was like
It's
this
a roller
up and
coaster
down.
of emotion.
And
yeah.
Beyonce was always the dream job. So I was like, this was hurting me
Yeah,
mentally. Because
yeah.
I'm like, I'm there, I'm not, I'm there, I'm not. Anyways, I finally got the job. And I mean, of course, I was like, ecstatic
Bawling,
about it. I'm like,
crying,
what is
crazy.
going on?
Yes.
But okay, so there was 10 of us who got booked at the time I got booked,
Mhm.
obviously. But we were added to the show.
Oh, so it was already a thing.
It was already a thing. So we
the
walked
plot
in,
thickens.
Yes, we walked into rehearsal and they already knew the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, we don't know what to do. And the only direction we got that day was pick up on what you can.
Yeah.
And they just ran the show twice all the way through. And it was pick up on what you can. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
So I went home and like, again, Googled all Beyonce videos. Any song that I saw them do, I learned that choreography. So the next day I could come in and like at least know what was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a process.
Oh my God. So even throughout all of that, you know, as you are an instructor here, what would you tell your dancers going through that same process? It might not be Beyonce, but, you know, just kind of on the cliff or just really nervous or really not tapping into what the director is looking for. Like, what advice would you give them?
The thing is, sometimes they don't know what they're looking for, right? So I think you just have to be so confident in what you're bringing to the table.
Absolutely.
And like, if you're questioning it, they're going to question hiring you.
Yeah.
Because when you get on the job, it's their name on the line if you don't show up and show out, you know?
For sure.
But also just pushing through it. You're not going to win every single time.
Yeah.
You're barely going to win in this entertainment industry. So
Catch the ones you
really got to push and be, resilient.
No, seriously. I think, and this is even to the viewers, just making sure that you keep that, like you said, resilience, that consistency. I know that's a huge part when it comes to this industry. It's just being consistent and allowing your true inner to show out, even if you got to put your hair in a bun or a ponytail and a red lip.
Yep.
I love to see it. So, with your instructing these classes for the convention this week, you have a piece in the final show. What can we get a little tidbit? What will we expect from that?
Well, I will say it's going to be in heels.
Love it.
And there might be a little Beyonce touch in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a little ode to the queen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be hurt by it, you know? So even, let's just talk about that really quick. Speaking of Beyonce, the new song that came out, how do you feel that's infiltrating the dance world? I'm in love with it.
It's so
I'm
good.
in love with it. It's so good vibration.
It's so good. I mean, I have seen a lot of dance videos to it already.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think whenever Beyonce puts anything out, dancers jump on it.
Yeah, for sure.
But just the stuff I've been seeing has been really great.
Already.
And Beyonce, I mean, she gets it.
Yes.
Like,
No, she does.
we needed this song at this time.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So going into your judge role now, you know, this is someone who isn't as lenient, someone who's really looking to cross those T's, dot those I's.
Yep.
What are you looking for? I mean, and you know, it's a wide range of choreo that's about to be displayed tomorrow. So what are you looking for specifically? Like, what would be your ideal candidate to win the grand prize?
Yeah, I mean, I go judge at more studio competitive competitions. But I am a stickler.
Yes.
I like it clean.
Yes.
I like precision, but I also like having a clear message or a why for your movement. And as artists, that's what the goal should be always.
Absolutely.
So I would love to give it to a meaningful piece with purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super looking forward to it as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a stickler. I'm more so, I want to see people with personality, like make a face while you're dancing. I want to be entertained.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So along those lines, entertainment, do you feel like that's a big part when choreography or doing choreography or choreographing something?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's our job as dancers. We got to entertain. And it can be fun or it can be sentimental. You know, it's still entertaining, but just got to keep your audience engaged. Yeah,
absolutely. So this is what I've done in the past interviews. I just want to see, in no specific order, your top 3 choreographers and why. Top 3 choreographers. No, it doesn't have to be a specific order. It doesn't have to be a specific genre. Just who inspires you in what you do as a dancer on the teaching end, and then also as on the performing end. 3 choreographers that you just like, okay, you're a bomb.
Yeah.
And why?
The first one that comes to mind is Galen Hooks.
Yes.
She's incredible. I did her intensive, and just how she communicates through movement is really unreal. And she's had an incredible career too. So definitely inspired by Galen. Jaquel.
Absolutely.
Obviously. And I just, everything he does is for his people.
Yeah.
It's
It's
meaningful. It has a reason behind it. And I think, that deserves some praise for sure.
Absolutely. Especially, again, in a time like this, for
exactly.
sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else. This is very dance comp related, but Molly Long, I don't know if you know her, but her kids are incredible and very precise, and their technique is incredible. So, yeah.
I love it. I mean, as long as you're bouncing around, I just like asking other choreographers who you look up to, because it's always a resemblance, within what you do and how you present yourself.
Yeah.
So, like I said, coming up tomorrow, what do you expect from the contestants? Like, from both age groups, like, what do you think they're going to bring? Again, a time like this, do you think they're going to base it around, anything like culture-wise? Do you think they're going to be, theme-based? What do you think? Like,
I honestly have no idea.
Yeah.
But that kind of gets me excited about it, because I don't know what to expect. I think as a judge, my expectation would just be to give 100%.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm excited to see what they got going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of 100%, what other advice would you give the contestants, or even the people that are going to be dancing or performing tomorrow that are in the convention side of it?
Mm-hmm. Just believe in what you're saying.
Yeah. That's
Period.
it.
Believe in what you're saying.
Yeah.
You got to believe it so I can believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what makes a difference between a performer and someone who likes dance, or in any industry,
Yeah.
Just going back over and recapping over the entire weekend. This is something that hasn't been done before, especially in Augusta, and with you being a local.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a step forward into something that could become super, super big, or how do you feel, or how are you feeling just about the overall Fusic 365 experience?
I think it's incredible what these guys have done.
Yes.
And Augusta, I would love to see more entertainment events, more things like this in this area, because I know a lot of kids who are interested in entering the entertainment world, and I didn't have kind of this bridge to get there.
Yeah.
So I think it would be helpful, and I hope, people really take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you said you're from, is it a suburb of Augusta?
It's Aiken.
It's Aiken. Okay, so
I don't know how
she's
to
from the
describe it.
outskirts
Aiken,
of Augusta. You made it all the way to LA.
Yeah.
That is almost a small city girl going to a big town. It could be overwhelming. No family out there. The life is fast, completely different. Everybody is kind of how did you break into that? That it's completely different. How did you break into it?
I don't know if I did break into it. But it was definitely a different world. And I was talking to you earlier, I've kind of stepped away from the entertainment business because sometimes I get that it can be competitive.
Yeah, very.
And you got to really want it. I'll say that. You got to really want it, because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. But breaking into it, I went and took a lot of dance classes. I don't know if you know Millennium Dance Complex or everything, but when I first started out, I was a work study there. So I would work 4 hours out of the week, and then I would get free unlimited classes.
That is the clutchest thing they could have ever invented. They do it in Atlanta too.
Yes.
It's so clutch. It's so clutch.
I took advantage of it. I was in class every day taking 4 or 5 classes, and that's when people started to see me and everything, and that's kind of when class videos started to pop up too. So
got you.
Yeah, people would see you in the video, and then they would want you in the music video or whatever coming up,
Yeah. It's crazy, because prior to me moving to Atlanta, because I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
Prior to me moving to Atlanta, I saw all of those studios. Like, I knew them like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Even Dance 411 in Atlanta, I knew it like the back of my hand. I'm like, I've been there.
Yeah.
And never
you
been
see
there.
it so often, right?
How important do you feel it is for students to train in different genres? Because I know a lot of people stick to their choreographer in that day of the week that they teach, and that style of dance in that pocket. What is it about a dancer or I want to say an athlete or professional that trains? What do you think is the difference?
The more you can bring to the table, the better.
Absolutely.
I mean, the kids that I work with now, I'm like, take every class,
Every
be
single
versatile,
one.
and be great at all the styles. Don't pick one and say, well, I'm a jazz dancer or I'm a tapper. Like, be great at all of it.
Yeah. Yes. No, seriously.
Because now you have more in your toolkit.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Thanks, Dwayne. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, when it does come to that, I think that's what makes a difference. And that's why I think the students that have come for the convention aspect of it, even if they don't make the performance, I think it's super, super commendable to say, hey, I want to come take these choreographers classes in these intensives, because that's almost what it is, and actually soak up this knowledge. So I think that's pretty dope that you're one of the featured choreographers and judges.
Right.
So tomorrow we do have the actual show, 7 p.m. at the Miller. Make sure that you are tapped in. It's going to be a dope show. Again, we have Kayla Frails. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I'm excited to see what's coming tomorrow.
Awesome. Listen, this is the Elevate Music 365 podcast. It is Stina Dias. We are signing out. And until next time,